Hey Seekers, well, Pizza and I are finally home. Here's a little bit of our conversation as we drove home. So this is Idaho, and Idaho, it's hilly and everything, but it's not as mountainy as it was when we left Colorado and Wyoming. Wyoming was a little bit flatter too, but you see those over there, there are some mountains off in the distance still, but it's more rolling hills. A lot of farmland. Yeah, and then over there, that's all like farmland too. There's some gazelle over there. Looks like, or antelope, I mean, not gazelle. There are no gazelle in Idaho. What am I talking about? What is this guy doing? These guys are nuts. These guys are friggin' nuts. I don't know what they're doing. Semi drivers, man. Sometimes they make bad decisions. But anyway, as I was saying, so those are sage bushes, and they dry up over time, and they kind of come disconnected and they become tumbleweeds. That's what just rolled across the highway there a little bit ago. So, what do you think? Which has been your favorite state so far? Pizza, you like Colorado or Wyoming? Wyoming was pretty neat, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so too. I was just trying to explain to her how the topography is a little bit different in different states, and she seemed to really like the lesson. But so today, I know that it's the 4th of July, and we want to celebrate our independence and, you know, blast off our fireworks and think, okay, here we go. We are free from the tyranny of England. But we've lost that independence. We have lost it in this country. Now we are under control of a tyrannical government, a two-party oligarchy, duopoly, whatever you want to call it. We do not have independence anymore. And people will argue, oh, you know, we have more freedom than they have in a lot of countries. Do we, though? Do we really? Like, have you really looked into other countries, you know, where people in Russia are doing better than we're doing here? They're able to afford to live in most cases, and we're not here. And just look at other countries' economies that haven't been touched by the U.S. hegemony, you know, like the IMF and things like that, the International Monetary Fund and all that, the centralized banking system. Look at those countries and their quality of life versus ours. And, you know, it's bittersweet because I love this country. I do. I love America. I love a lot about it. But our government is out of control. And we're forced to live within this system that we have no control over. We don't have any control over who's elected. We don't have any control over the laws that they create, the bills that they pass, what they do with our money. They just take our money and do whatever they want with it. And there's no pushback from us. Because anytime we try to push back, we're like for instance, the J6, let's use that for an example. Or let's use Occupy Wall Street, since that's not going to get me flagged on YouTube. Occupy Wall Street started off as a good thing. It had good intentions. It was a good message. But then it got co-opted by the Soros-backed people, and they go in and they sow dissent, and they start violence. They do things that the original organization wouldn't have done. And one thing I was irritated with that whole movement was they were at one of the branches of the problem, which is Wall Street. They weren't at the roots where I was. So when they were at Occupy Wall Street, I went to Washington because that's the root of the problem. The problem is in Washington. All right? The scum that is on top of the swamp is in Washington. I understand that Wall Street is a factor of that and is a branch of that and a result of that, but that is not where people should be. It does nothing. But these protests that we try to do whenever we're tired of something, they get co-opted by agitators and people that are on the government dole, whether it's feds, whether it's just paid people, Antifa, whatever it is. that come in and they do violent things, and it just destroys the whole movement and makes the whole thing look violent. Which, as John F. Kennedy said, those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. And it's getting to the point where they don't listen when we peacefully protest, because they turn it around and they infiltrate it and make it violent. And then the media can say, oh, it got violent, except for Black Lives Matter for some reason. That one seems to go under the radar when it comes to violence. Antifa as well. You don't ever see them really getting talked about on the mainstream media as, oh, they're a bad organization. They destroyed Black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses. Pizza's out here in the sun. That's so cute. Female-owned businesses. Like, they don't talk about what they're actually destroying. They don't talk about what Kyle Rittenhouse was actually trying to protect when he went to Wisconsin or wherever he went. They don't talk about that stuff, because for some reason that faction, that side, has a free pass to violence, whereas an ordinary citizen that is fed up with the system, that wants to fight the system in some way, well, we're conspiracy theorists, we're racists, we're bigots, we're homophobes, we're transphobes. Like, we're all of these things, these just blow off ad hominem things. They're warriors fighting for reparations and all this other stuff. Like, it makes no sense, but when you think about it, that's what I'm talking about. We don't have our independence anymore. If they do bad things, we are not able to try to hold them accountable, because if we try to hold them accountable, they smear us and have literally ruined people's lives. And when I say ruin people's lives, I mean ruin people's lives, like completely, like their job, their security, their reputation. And so a lot of people are like, I'm not going to take that chance. Uh-oh, firework. It's okay, Pizza. Come here, girl. I know, you don't like those. She does not like fireworks. It's okay. Good girl. That's going to be going on all day. But your life can be completely turned upside down and ruined if you try to go against the establishment. And so, after this election, this next election for Trump and Biden, I am so excited to start pushing for the Purple Revolution, where the seekers, us seekers, we are going to start a movement to leave the parties, because it's the only way. It's the only way we are ever going to get out of this, is if we en masse, and it has to be en masse, leave the parties, leave the two-party system. Because the two-party system should have never happened anyway. The Founding Fathers today, being the day that they signed, Clayton did a video on Redacted, if you haven't seen it, talking about how the July 2nd was actually the day of independence, and John Adams fought for that day, but Thomas Jefferson fought for the 4th, so we ended up on the 4th. Thomas Jefferson must have been a very, very good debater. That's all I can say. He must have been amazing at it, and had a lot of credibility. But anyway, so today, the Founding Fathers would be just completely devastated, pissed off at us that we've come to where we are today and lost that independence. We are no longer a republic. We have not done what they laid out for us to do. And this is not the America that they wanted. This is the America that we've allowed to happen. And I don't think a lot of us like it. I don't think a lot of us are happy with the way this country is. Again, we can love the beauty of our country. We can love the majority of people that are in this country, because if people actually knew what was going on, we know that they would stand up. We know that they wouldn't want this. But through propaganda in the media, they've really been able to blindside people and put blinders on them and just get them to walk through life like, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about religion. I don't want to talk about any of it. I just want to live my life. I want to watch my football games. I want to go into the gladiator ring and just watch the gladiators fight and die. That's all I want. I don't care what you do around me. You know, your free speech stuff doesn't hurt me. Nothing is bothering me because I just sit here in my hole, in my little box in this country and watch my other little box, my TV, and I have my internet. I have my little things to keep me occupied, and that's all I need. And that is a lot of Americans. You know, that's why they have the football and golf and tennis and baseball and all this other stuff. It's to keep you distracted, because they know that those distractions get people riled up and people get like basically so involved in those worlds that you're not part of this world. You're not part of the holding them accountable. You know, it's a small number of us that are trying to hold them accountable. So they know that they can smear us to those people and make us look like we're conspiracy theorist idiots that have no idea what we're talking about, because they don't have any idea what we're talking about. We passed the CARES Act. You know, and those people are like, we passed the CARES Act. You know, all this money went to help this and that. Those people don't know a single ounce about what's in that bill. You know, they don't know. They know it. They know nothing about what is really going on. In the meantime, you and I, we're losing our freaking minds because we know what's going on. It's like we are on the Titanic and we're telling people there's an iceberg ahead, and they're like, just like this is the biggest ship in the world. An iceberg isn't going to hurt this ship. Whatever, dude. But we're heading right for an iceberg. But the thing is, we've already hit the iceberg. We've hit it, and we are sinking. And we're just trying to tell everybody, look, grab a life jacket, get on a lifeboat, help us, help you. Help us help you. We want to help you. When we come to you with information, we are not trying to, make you look stupid. We're not trying to, hurt you. We are trying to help you. We are trying to educate you. But a lot of people just aren't open to that because, don't want to hear it. I don't want to know what's going on. I'm in my world. I got my garden. I got my this. I got my that. I got everything I need. I don't need this. I don't want to fight. I don't want to, no, don't want any part of it. So what do? You just have to keep trying, because whether you want to have conversations with those people or not, the only way we're going to fix this is if we do. Because we need so many people to leave these parties. Those people that are watching football and tennis and baseball and involved in all those things as deep as they are, they're color voters. They'll vote red or they'll vote blue. They don't care who it is. And one of the reasons is because they don't know who it is. They don't know who they're voting for. They don't do any research. They just have, been taught like, okay, they've just been taught, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. I don't have any idea really why. My dad was a Republican, so I'm a Republican. Down the ticket. They have no idea. And that is a lot of people. But like I said, we need all of those people, because without them, we are never going to fix this. Without massive amounts of people, millions and millions. I'm talking tens, I'll bet you with 10 to 15, maybe 20 million people, you could probably start to make a change. But I don't think unless you have, 50, 60, 75 million people, can you make a real dent to where they're like, oh my gosh, they are coming for us. We have to do something. And the government literally fearing the people again, because we are doing something to rise up. And the cool thing is, this is a way to do it non-violently, because we have, was it Biden that said all these people fighting for their guns, we've got F-16s, you'd need F-15s or whatever he said. Like we could, your little guns aren't going to do anything against our military. And he's right. We have guns but they have jets, bombs, and a bunch of illegals that probably would be willing to come after us. So it's going to take massive numbers, and it's going to have to be nonviolent because we cannot take on, now, if it was just, if there weren't illegals in here that would probably be willing to take up arms against us, if it was just U.S. soldiers, there's a good chance the U.S. soldiers would be like, I'm not on board with this. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and to protect the people of this country. And now you want me to go after the people of this country? Yeah, I don't think that would happen. But I think with the illegals, I think they could get them to do that. So, that's why we've been shouting from the rooftops, hey, military age men are coming in here en masse every day. What are we doing about it? Nothing? Oh, okay. Then let's continue to do nothing. And now we've got an army that would take up arms against us because they don't give a shit about us. They have no loyalty to our Constitution like some U.S. soldiers do. Many do. That take their oath seriously. The police that take their oath seriously. So, anyway, don't mean to be so bleak on Independence Day, but I just feel like we're celebrating something that we don't have anymore. Something that I wish we still had, and something that I think we can get back. We just have to be willing to do what it takes and leave these parties and show them we're not going to let them have control. And the thing is, we don't even have to hurt a single person. We don't even have to imprison a single person because they will just mosey off into the distance on their own. As much as we would want them to pay for what they've done, as long as they were out of the system and out of there, I would even be willing to let them go. Wouldn't want to. I think they should pay. But if we could fix this, that would be more important to me than them paying for it. Because by fixing it, they'll pay for it anyway, because they'll lose their power. They'll lose what makes that, they'll lose everything they have. They'll lose their power, they'd lose their money, because no, the United States citizens are not taking care of you the rest of your life. We are not providing you with this. We need to set the rules. Age limits. I don't agree with term limits. I'll get into a video on that eventually, but I don't think term limits would do nothing. Age limits, can't inside trade, no lobbyists, no super PACs, no money in politics. You cannot take money from corporations. You can only take money from individuals, and a max donation of like $500 or something like that, like max, so that we create the system that they work within, not them create the system that we work within, which is what they've done. They have made the system that we're in, and it sucks. And we're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. So, happy 4th of July, everybody. Hopefully you have a wonderful day, and go enjoy your fireworks, and understand that next July, we'll already be knee-deep into the Purple Revolution and trying to get people to leave their parties and fix this wonderful country that we live in. Instead of leaving it, instead of abandoning it, instead of thinking it's a lost cause, we can still fix it. But we have to do something. We can't just sit here and wait for one man to fix it. No voted official, no elected official is going to do this for us. We have to do it. This is our country. They're spending our money, and they are our buildings. We have paid for all of this, and we have built it. It is ours, and it's time for us to take it back. So thank you, everybody. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.